support means everything to us. It's incredible to think that nearly 90% of our viewers haven't yet subscribed to our growing community. If you enjoy our stories and want to keep them alive, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell. We'd also love to know where you're watching from. If you're comfortable, feel free to share your city in the comments. Hearing from you deepens the connection we share. Maya stood by the wide window of her modest yet warm apartment, cupping her coffee as the early rays of sunlight crept over the horizon. The steam curled into the air, dissipating as softly as her thoughts drifted back into the past. Outside, the neighborhood was gradually coming to life. Children on bicycles, joggers passing by, dogs barking in the distance. But inside, her world was quieter, wrapped in the silent echo of memory. It had been a full year since she finalized her divorce from James. The raw sting of heartbreak had lessened, its sharp edges softened by time, but the shadows of what once was still lingered in the corners of her mind. Some mornings, like this one, the ache would return out painful, exactly, but heavy. She had poured herself into rebuilding her life since the separation. Her work as a freelance graphic designer gave her the flexibility to reclaim her time and identity. She redesigned not just her clients' brands, but pieces of her own world, new decor, new routines, a new rhythm to her days. Yet, beneath the surface of her creative flow, loneliness often crept in. The silence in her apartment sometimes felt more like absence than peace. There had been healing, certainly. Time had done its part. But healing wasn't a straight line. Even after all these months, there were moments, unpredictable and piercing, when she would suddenly yearn for what they used to have. The shared routines, the quiet companionship, the laughter in the middle of ordinary days. On one particularly golden afternoon, as she sat scrolling through her phone after completing a project, a message arrived that pulled her sharply out of the present. It was from Sophie, a mutual friend she hadn't spoken to in a while. "Hi Sam, James is back in town. He mentioned he'd like to reconnect with you. Would you be open to it?" Maya stared at the message, the words swimming before her eyes. A strange mix of curiosity, anxiety, and something softer coursed through her. Her fingers hovered over the screen, then retreated, her heart fluttering. She hadn't expected this. James, back in town, wanting to reconnect. Their marriage had ended with a shared understanding, not with a dramatic fight. They had simply unraveled, each pulled in different directions. The thought of seeing him again stirred a strange cocktail of hope and apprehension. After a long breath, she replied, "I'm open to the idea. Let's see where it leads." The days that followed felt surreal. Maya found herself drifting between anticipation and doubt. Memories she had tucked away resurfaced, moments of joy, tenderness, and the quiet sorrow of growing apart. She wasn't sure what she expected from seeing James again, but she couldn't deny the pull. When the day finally came, she spent more time than usual getting dressed. She chose something understated yet elegant, a soft blouse, simple earrings, subtle makeup. Not for James exactly, but for the woman she had become. She arrived at the cafe they had chosen, her nerves taut. The little bell above the door jingled as she stepped inside. She scanned the room, and there he was sitting at a corner table, sipping coffee. James looked different in the way people do after long introspection. His hair was a bit longer, his demeanor relaxed, and there was a peacefulness in his posture she hadn't seen before. When he saw her, he stood up with a smile that was both familiar and changed. "Wow, it's been a long time," he said, his voice warm. "You look wonderful." "Thank you, James. It's good to see you too," Maya replied, settling into the chair across from him. They began talking about work, travels, mutual friends. The conversation flowed easily, like water resuming its natural path. They laughed about old inside jokes, nodded with shared understanding at each other's growth. For a while, it was almost like old times, but beneath the casual dialogue, Maya sensed something deeper, a hesitance in his eyes, a pause that lingered longer than necessary. And then James shifted slightly, his tone growing more serious. "I've thought about this meeting a lot," he said. "Since our divorce, I've done a lot of reflection. And I've come to realize I didn't fully appreciate what we had. Not the way I should have. Maya's breath caught in her chest. She held her coffee tighter. What do you mean by that? She asked softly. I was so consumed by my career, by deadlines, by proving myself, I neglected the relationship we had. I didn't see the value of your presence in my life until it was gone. He stared into his cup as though the answer might be found in its depths. Maya felt a swirl of emotions, pain, understanding, and something that felt like longing. James, she said slowly, we both needed to grow. I see now how much space I needed for myself, too. Our time apart wasn't wasted. I've been working on becoming more grounded, more aware of who I am. James nodded, a faint smile touching his lips. I can see that, and I admire it. I didn't ask to meet with you to reopen old wounds. I just ... I wanted to say sorry, and maybe see if there's space to be part of each other's lives again, even just as friends. Maya studied his face. She could see the sincerity, the vulnerability. Her heart stirred cautiously. Friendship sounds like a start, she replied after a pause. But it won't be simple, James. The past is still there, and we can't pretend it didn't shape us. I wouldn't want to pretend, he said. I only want to be honest and see where it leads. As they left the cafe, the air between them felt heavy with possibility. Maya couldn't deny she had enjoyed their time together. But what came next wasn't clear in the weeks that followed. They began reconnecting, slowly, carefully. They met for coffee, took walks through old neighborhoods, shared stories of the time apart. There were new layers to their bond now: honesty, respect, a mature understanding of each other's boundaries. Still, Maya remained mindful. She held on to her independence, even as she allowed herself to enjoy the familiarity of James's presence. One evening, as they sat watching a film at her apartment, the soft glow of the screen flickering across their faces, James turned to her. Spending time with you again, Sam ... It feels comforting, like home. I didn't expect that, he said gently. I feel it too, Maya admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. But we need to move slowly. What we had ended for a reason. And if we're going to build anything again, even friendship, it has to be built on something new, not just nostalgia. James nodded. I understand. I'm here for whatever that becomes. And so they continued to people shaped by the past, tentatively exploring whether the future held space for them again. An invitation to Maya for a gathering with his circle of friends after a moment of doubt, she resolved to attend driven. By her desire to stand by his side upon her arrival, she was welcomed with open arms and joyous laughter swiftly immersing herself in the delightful ambience as the evening unfolded. Maya observed James engaging with a friend of a woman by the name of Rachel. Amidst the laughter and the exchange of stories, Maya was surprised by the wave of emotion that rose within her. What seems to be the issue as Sophie approached the bar, inquired, joining Maya in her evening respite. Uncertain, Maya confessed, her voice laced with a hint of vulnerability. I suppose I didn't anticipate him being so at ease with someone else, Sophie. Arched an eyebrow. Are your emotions for him still lingering? Maya let out a soft sigh, her mind swirling as she pondered her response. I believed I had moved on, yet witnessing him with another person stirs doubts within me. The following day, Maya resolved to face her emotions head on. She reached out to James and proposed they get together. As they settled into their seats and inhaled deeply, James went to discuss what happened last night. She said, her heart pounding in her chest. All right, what thoughts are you pondering? And inquired, worry evident in his expression upon witnessing you with rich emotions surged within her that she believed she had long since overcome. She confessed, I was unaware of the depth of my lingering feelings. James's features relaxed. I was completely unaware that you held those feelings. I am simply endeavoring to navigate my own path. It was never my intention to cause you any discomfort, I understand, and I value your efforts. However, I believe we must be truthful about our desires. Maya remarked, her tone unwavering. In the midst of their conversation, Maya and James delved into their emotions, skillfully traversing the intricate landscape of their shared history. And current religiously engaged in a heartfelt conversation about their aspirations for the future. In the true essence of friendship, I want you to be happy whether it's with me or someone else, James said, his eyes filled with sincerity. I cannot find indifference to the desirato delve into the depths of what lies between us. Maya was overwhelmed by a torrent of feelings as she pondered his words. I desire happiness as well, however. I must ascertain that we are both prepared for the step where history weaves a tapestry of complexity. James nodded, fully grasping her uncertainty. Let us savor each moment. I prefer to take my time with decision. See it. I find myself reluctant to sever this bond. In the weeks that followed, Maya and James nurtured their friendship gradually, reigniting the connection they had once cherished. The progressed gradually, permitting their relationship to unfold in its own organic manner. As twilight descended upon the park, James paused in his stride and faced her, a moment suspended in time. I'm truly appreciative of the pace we're maintaining this time. I aim to get it right, he spoke, his gaze brimming with earnestness. Maya beamed a gentle warmth blossoming in her heart. Some here with patience, I believe we can craft something truly beautiful. As they stood side by side, the atmosphere brimmed with potential. Maya came to understand that confronting their history need not equate to shunning what lay ahead. Throughout transparent dialogue and sincerity, they could establish a cornerstone for a fresh relationship, home grounded in mutual respect and comprehension. As she stood at her window one evening, observing the sunset brush the sky with shades of orange and pink, Maya contemplated her journey over the past years. She had mastered the art of navigating her emotions and facing her past, feeling a profound sense of empowerment in her decisions. James had always been a reliable figure in her life, and their friendship had flourished into something truly remarkable. They frequently exchanged tales of their days, bolstered one another's aspirations, and reveled in the uncomplicated joys of life side by side. The bond they had reignited was authentic and profound, and for the first time in ages, Maya experienced a sense of true contentment. Weekend, James proposed an escape to the mountains for a brief retreat. It promises to be an enjoyable experience. Sees the two of us surrounded by nature and a moment to unwind, he suggested us. Excitement palpable. Maya paused briefly, a flicker of uncertainty crossing her face, but soon a smile broke through. That truly sounds remarkable. I would be delighted to. The journey to the mountains unfolded just as they had envisioned it. A tapestry of dreams realized. Wandered along verdant paths, reveled in laughter by the flickering camphor, and exchanged tales deep into the night. Amidst the tranquil embrace of nature, Maya experienced an awakening of clarity regarding her emotions. For James, one evening, as they gathered by the flickering firelight, stars shimmering above, James glanced at her. Maya, I've come to understand that my feelings extend beyond mere friendship. His voice was steady yet tinged with vulnerability as he expressed, I care about you deeply, and I believe we owe it to ourselves to explore where this could lead. Maya felt her heart quicken at his words. I share your sentiments, James sighed. I find it essential to proceed with caution. We have both endured so much, said her gaze, probing us for a glimmer of comprehension. I wholeheartedly concur, he said, his gaze steady, yet I sense we find ourselves in a new chapter, and I wish to seize this moment with you, added, gently clasping her hand in his. In that instant, beneath the expansive sky, adorned with countless stars, May experienced a surge of emotions envelop her. For what felt like an eternity had shielded her heart from the world, yet with James an unfamiliar warmth enveloped her, a reassuring sense of security and the quiet promise of fresh starts. Us the journey drew to a close. Maya and James arrived home, their spirits lifted and their energy renewed. They chose to embark on the journey of a romantic relationship, the while committing to maintain open communication, prioritize their personal growth. In the months that followed, they approached their budding relationship with a delicate touch. Maya discovered a joy within herself that she hadn't experienced in quite some time. James exhibited unwavering support and keen attentiveness. They embarked on journeys rageous in one another's triumphs and discovered the strength to confront obstacles side by side. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow in the kitchen, Maya halted her movements, turning her gaze toward James' eye. Understand we've been moving at a measured pace, but I want you to know just how much I value your presence in my life. She expressed, her tone imbued with genuine warmth. James's smile radiated warmth. I share your sentiments. Since our reconnection, I've discovered a wealth of insights about myself and I cherish every moment we spend together as their bond deepened Maya. And James chose to commemorate their journey allings their closest. Friends, a modest gathering was held welcoming those who had stood by them through thick and thin. As twilight descended, they convened around a table brimming with delectable dishes. In joyous laughter, and in that moment, Maya experienced a profound sense of belongingness. She surveyed the familiar faces of her friends. A wave of gratitude washed over her for the unwavering love and support they had so generously offered as the evening. Whereon James lifted his glass, highlighted us, raise our glass esto, fresh starts, and the remarkable strength found in second chances. Maya, truly appreciate your patience and the chance to re-enter your lifey. Set his gaze firmly fixed on hers. Maya's heart brimmed with emotion as she lifted her glass and replied to friendship, growth, and love. She added her smile radiant us. The months morphed into a year. Maya and James discovered themselves weaving a life together with laughter, understanding, and intertwined dreams. They discovered the art of expressing their emotions candidly, and in doing so, the bond of trust between them grew stronger. As twilight descended upon the enchanting park, James paused, his gaze fixed on Maya, weighty seriousness etched across his features. Have been reflecting deeply on our relationship and what lies ahead for you. See, understand we've been moving at a measured pace, he said, his voice brimming with anticipation, but I can envision a future with you, and I need to know if you share those feelings. Maya experienced an exhilarating surge of happiness at his words. I certainly do, Jamas. A future with you is clear to me as well. I've never been happier, she replied, her heart overflowing with loving that instant. They both grasped the profound meaning of their journey, recognizing how they had traversed their past, confronted their fears, and welcomed the splendor of fresh starts. Suited by a common dream, they strolled side by side, prepared to welcome the myriad of adventures that awaited them. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a warm golden light enveloped the park, and Maya was filled with a profound appreciation for the journey she had undertaken, embracing love and a revitalized sense of purpose. Certain they could conquer any challenge that lay ahead. Side by side,